All right, let's get into the mirror and creation, the seed of life, the black hole that we can possibly be living in, as it tells you that light can't escape. The theories of space and black holes and the galaxies, flat earth combined with these things, okay? I see these things as we're given over to the lie, and the lie is taken into the bubble as far as the cleansing of the earth, the dirtiness of the earth. It's very possible the wow signal, that universe that we're in, okay? There's a couple ways to bring these things together, but when you look at the picture of the black hole, right, it shows you like a little eyeball, or however, if it's a double or a single, and it shows you a vast array of light outside of it, okay? So as a reverse spectrum, that light out there could actually be space that we can't see because we're in an inverted light system, and as there can be alien systems or whatever outside of us in that so-called space outside the black hole, these alien beings can send in technology, such as asteroids or whatever, that break apart, that have bacteria, so-called, on them. And bacteria, we're told, and that we can be shown or whatever, can hold information in a program, and it doesn't lose it. So this is where something, the seed of life, can come in such a way you have one, develop the bubble, and then you have another one where eventually where it's all like, as the alien being, like, man, we hope this works or whatever, like whatever we're trying to do here, okay? Because they might be trying to come in and destroy the black hole in such a way. So this is where man has created the technology to blast the earth. And as it blasts the earth sends out, okay, vibrational waves. And then those vibrational waves gives birth to certain people, and they're going up or down on that frequency when this is done, right? And we see this being done with the atomic bombs. And this can be where they tell us these nuclear bombs and whatever else, they open up portals, and now they have CERN and all these other things, and we're spraying the skies so we can make the invisible visible in such a way, and the weather works through man, the weather works through the fungus in the earth, the bacteria, and all this stuff. So as this little seeds of life can be coming, and Genesis tells us there's darkness upon the deep, and then the firmament comes, and all these things, right? So you have these things just going about the black hole, going up or down, right? It's just a matter of chance that these things happen, and then they get, boom, you have the seed of life, sperm and egg meet, or asteroid and asteroid, the bacteria and bacteria meet, and then you have that's when the program begins, and it starts capturing the light and hardening the light into so-called matter. And that's where we exist, as far as we exist, but we don't exist because we're just a product of an alien system or parasite coming in, a program coming in to destroy this magnetic black hole system. Or it can be such a way where the black hole sucks in these lights or whatever, and then births it out on the other side into another space or whatever kind of thing. And we're just kind of, we're getting ready in different ways as these spectrums come together. People may go up and be beamed up out of here, so to speak, and they go and escape the black hole as each phase of man passes through, okay? Or each phase of alien that's passing through the so-called mothership passes through. But on another spectrum, the seed of life in these things has created a mothership within the black hole system, and Earth is a living rock. So this is where this seed of life and the circle of earth, the egg, everything is within us. We are a living earth system. The sun and moon follow each and every one of us because it is a manifestation of the earth, which is through us, through a combined fractal reality. Okay? So as this program of life and this mothership earth that we're on, and we're all parasites, and it being a living rock, we are basically walking, talking, living rocks, as we are crystals and water and minerals and elements and all these other things. So when we look at ourselves in another reality, this is where God has set up this program, right? And once it gets to a certain level, it realizes what the program is. And once it realizes what the program is, it builds itself onto the next level. Once it builds itself onto the next level, it goes and it builds and lives and whatever else. Once that gets to a certain height, it starts redoing the program. It's the black hole and this kinds of things where it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it can, either way. So whether the aliens are trying to come in and destroy the black mirror, that magnetic system of this black hole, and take whatever out with it, okay? And then we go into another black hole system and restart and those kinds of realities. But this is all happening on a spiritual aspect too, because the phone is the black hole. And the phone is, the way things are working is you have sky and you have earth, you have man. All right? That's 1, 2, and 3 dimensions. We live in the 3rd dimension. We build the 4th dimension. And then we go to the 5th dimension. And now the 6th dimension is the phone. And that's where the God's light is here. God's resting and taking you into the Lord God, the control system, or giving you to wake up, because you've already been in that control system and you're becoming the Adam and Eve, and you're going into a new land of Nod or a new Cana and those types of things. So that's where one system is being opened. As it opens, it closes the other. As it closes the other, that's all that, like recreational, that's going to be closed as far as the medical, and then the stock market being tied into the cannabis and all that. All this is the worst fucking thing for the cannabis consumer. So as it's these kinds of things and wrapping it into this and whatever, it's also the worst thing for the fucking market. Because if you get Fusarium or you get any type of, Fusarium's major because you'll take out your whole fucking crop in no time, but and that's the Fusarium that's coming up as you see your flu session come breaking out for your San Antonio landmarks or whatever else. But the program where God recognizes himself is all here, and it tells you about that in Revelation, and it tells you about that with Jesus, tells you about that with the serpent, and becoming as God, as the us and our, and Jesus even says, your book even tells you are God, and that's where you are the bodies and members of the living God, the Christ, and the Christ is tied to the oil and the earth, and we have oil in us, the earth has oil in it. And the plants you consume have oils in them. The honey, that is like a oil from the plants. In another way, that is like a sugar oil. And they've taken your sugar oil. And there's a reason why they tell you, if you didn't know anything or whatever, right? You'd be giving a baby under 2 honey. But they don't want you giving the baby under 2 honey, because it once you understand the quantum and the program and the downloadable information you get from these things, then you're setting up the baby for lifelong health and these types of things, as the breastfeeding and the vaginal birth, the skin to skin, all this beneficial bacteria is being taken away from you. And what beneficial bacteria you do get, they try and give you an antibiotic to kill it. And then that antibiotic, well, that just comes and starts it's where those are living microorganisms. You are a living earth system, so you are being controlled by the belly. It's a stack on the 5 senses, and the 5 senses control the 6th sense, and that's where this is the 6th sense, and it's all coming in. And the 6th sense, you're walking into a magical world, so to speak. The mirror controls us as in one fashion. The mirror controls what we do, how we look, and those types of things. So and then when you're tripping, you may get stuck in the mirror for a while. You may see your bones underneath your skin. You may see the blood flowing through, or whatever's going on, right? Every little trip's a little different. Everybody's being programmed in different ways, and everybody's breaking the program in different ways. So everybody's trip is going to be a little different, but that's what makes certain trips, like ayahuasca or the DMT one, where people kind of have the same trip but different kind of thing. That is it's telling you something special there. But either way, all these things are all together within the program. That's where the plants and they're telling you fog has information, and all these things are going together. You're always getting information. It's how are you tuning into this? We are a giant tuning machine. We are a giant computer. We are a giant robot. We can do all things. It's just a matter of what do you want to fucking do? Okay? Do you want to go out there and break a bat with your shin? Well, train up for it, and you can do it. I've seen it. I've seen it in person, not just on video. So, if you want to get to be 600 pounds and never move a muscle, do it. I've seen it in life. They ride a scooter and shit. So, although the Jabba the Hutt, that Spider-Man died in that big old hole. That's part of that dessert in the desert or whatever shit opening up in one way, shape, or form as the Return of the Jedi, the Jabba. All that opens up, and your Han Solo is put into the wall, comes out there freezing, and he can't fucking hear Leia. She got the fucking mask on. She sounds like an evil Yoda, a robot Yoda and shit, kind of like that. So that's where all these things are kind of overlaying in your reality. And either way, that little desert hole, Spider-Man, Spooderman, and then we also saw the 104, which passed all some degrees, temp up. The 140 day coming up on the Iran war, and then the 401 day. If you think of an oven, you have days in and days out. So depending how these numbers are working, and we're learning these clocks and whatever else, right? Will depend on if it's 104 from the beginning or 104 from his last day of office, and those types of things. So this is where the slow oven, the Sylvania, the Melania is kind of setting up for the Doge and whatever else. So, just the mind fuckery for people as they're on the donkey's back, being taken into the birth with the 2 burdens. So the clock and the slow oven, the 400 going up to the broil oil, 500, 600, and that hits you from the top, right? The top or whatever. That's like the light turning on, as far as your, light bulb and the capitalism. Y'all have been under capitalism. Now it has given birth to it's King Elon, who holds 7 candlesticks and has worked his way into here, and the Bitcoin's worked in over here, and now they're working in cannabis in over here, and it's all going in together to reset and to flush out and all that stuff. Okay? And your King Spirit, your Jesus, the rich man, buried in the tomb and all that good stuff. That's going with the flush and the toilet and the toilet. It's tied into your incarnation of Christ and the AI coming in, taking control of your cars, and or them taking your driving rights, and or you're telling you can't drive your cars because you're SSRIs and whatever else, right? So this can be a flip out session for like the 48. Okay, so you're in that middle deal, that peace and time frame or whatever, and then you get that sudden destruction. That sudden is being loaded up in the library. Okay, so the library is at boo KS. That KS is tied to that CK1 and that Erica Kirk Church and shit like that. So she's probably part of that Black Widow, kills her fucking lover, and we'll see how that all works out. But either way, we're going to see a couple Black Widows as the web has been spun. And Elon Musk, the Charlotte's Web, the Charlie's Web, that CBD for the truckers. I mean, you look at Charlie in that chocolate factory. We know he's in there packing fudge somewhere. You know what I mean. That's where you have these straight guys that seem a little gay. Or you might have these gay guys that seem a little straight. So